Ya obatnya biar lebih cepat recovery-nya kalau di rumah. Nggak ini ntar. Nggak maksimal ngobatinnya. Anyway, ayo kita lanjut Doki Doki Literature Club yang apa sih? Sebenarnya itu kan game PC ya. Ini game PC cuman yang di PC itu yang di Steam itu tuh free, bisa di-download siapa itu free kecil juga gamenya. Tapi yang di PC itu versinya tuh yang Doki Doki Literature Club biasa. Kalau yang di konsol itu tuh Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. Nah yang plusnya itu nggak tahu tuh apa yang bikin itu ada plusnya. Oke, login. Oh mungkin side stories ya kali ya. Trust, understanding, respect. Oke, ini home screen-nya masih nge-glitch gitu nggak nih? Masih dong tuh si siapa? Si Sayori. Okay, Yuri. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. Uh, I guess it's the same for Yuri. We all sit in silence for a moment. Hey, I just got an idea. How about this? Hmm? Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monica. Then, next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. Uh, um, Sumpah ini bener ngikutin cerita yang sebelumnya, cuma bedanya nggak ada Sayori doang anjir. Ah, I mean, I thought it was a good idea. Well, I think you're right, Monica. We should probably start finding activities for all of us to participate in together. I did decide to take on the responsibility of vice president after all. I need to do my best to nurture the club as well as its members. Besides, now that we have a new member, it seems like a good step for us to take. Do you agree as well, Juicy Stav? Hold on. There's still one problem. Eh? What's that? Now that we've reached the most important topic, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. Oh no, kita bakal nanya soal Sayori kah? Oh, I never said I would join this club. Monica may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and, I lose my train of thought. All three girls stare back at me with dejected eyes. But I'm sorry, I thought. Hmm. Eh? The girls exchange glances before Monica turns back to me. I guess I need to tell you the truth, Juicy Stav. The thing is, we don't have enough members yet to form an official club. We need 4. Ya makanya sayorinya, sayorinya, aduh. And I've been trying really, really hard to find new members. And if we don't find one more before the festival, I, I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? I would feel terrible for letting everyone down in this situation. And besides, the club itself seems pretty relaxed. So, if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls, right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girls' eyes light up. Oh my goodness, really? Do you really mean that, Juicy Staff? Yeah, it could be fun, right?
Sama mah nggak usah di play nggak sih, di skip 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 aja.
Enggak, mungkin ada yang beda. Mungkin ada yang beda dialognya. You really did scare me for a moment. I mean, if you really just left after all this, I would be super pissed. Juicy Staff, I'm so happy. We can become an official club now. Thank you so much for this. You're really amazing. I'll do everything I can to give you a great time, okay? Thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share. Monica looks over at me once more. Juicy Staff, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Hehehe. Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monica with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri cleans up the tea set. I guess I'll be on my way then. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow then. I can't wait. With that, I depart the club room and make my way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the three girls. Natsuki, Yuri, and of course, Monica. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in the literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Alright, I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. You have unlocked a special poem. Would you like to read it? Huh? A dream. I was wandering an abandoned warehouse at night. I was lost, looking for an exit. I just wanted to go home. I came upon a huge empty room, its ceiling and walls beyond the deep blackness. My steps were quick in order to hurry to the other side or to a wall, anything. Suddenly the ground was no longer beneath my feet. I stepped into a hole of indeterminate width. I fell for a good 5 seconds before crashing into warm water. Figuring out which way was up, I surfaced myself. The air was humid, and the sounds of my splashing reverberated endlessly. My vision was completely swallowed by the dark. With one hand, I could feel the damp metal wall of the container. My lungs were already getting tired. Aduh, okay. Uh, Yuri lagi kali ya? Agonizing. Clumsy happiness. Childhood essence fun. Unending judgment. Incongruent. Nibble, sadness. Fireflies, disarray, horror, death, after image, T, huh? Blanket, sensation, fantasy, vanilla, fantasy? Aduh salah lagi. Grief. Vivid, Valentine, loud, party, forgive, disown. Papa? Shame, sweet, destiny, joy, shiny, warm, play. Cry, bouncy, playground, crimson, incapable, effulgent, philosophy. Hi again, Juicy Staff. Glad to see you didn't run away on us, hahaha. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. What the fuck? Thanks for keeping your promise, Juicy Stav. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it? Oh shit! Lagunya mulai agak distorted gini anjir. Okay. Oh, come on. Like he deserves any slack. He already had to be dragged here by Monica. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what. But if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Anjir. Kok Monikanya di depan teksnya sih? Nggak kelihatan anjir. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga. Manga is literature. Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. I'm sorry, Juicy Stav. We'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay? Yuri shoots Natsuki with a disappointed glance. Anyway, now that you're in the club and all, perhaps you might have interest in picking up a book or to read. Well, I can't really say no either way. Like you said, I'm in this club now. So it only feels right for me to do something like that if you ask. Wait. I didn't mean it like that. If you don't really want to, then forget I said anything, I guess. No, it's not that, Yuri. I want to try to be part of this club. So even if I don't read often, I'd be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to. Are you sure? I just felt like, well, as vice president and all, that I should help you get started on something you might like. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention even if you don't usually read. And we could, you know, discuss it if you wanted. This is... How's this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew! Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club. But it doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in the book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more, but at the same time I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of the book. It looks like the same book that she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Ah, crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me. And our eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry. I was just spacing out. I muttered this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... That's the book that you gave me, right? Mm-hmm. I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason. Just curious, how come you have two copies of the same book? Ah, well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday... that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy two of them. I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decided to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's the story about anyway? Well, I look at the cover of the book. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. Okay. Sama. Masih buku yang sama. There's an ominous looking eye symbol on the front cover. Basically, it's about this religious camp that was turned into a human experiment prison. And the people trapped there have this trait that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood. Kayaknya yang terakhir, yang playthrough sebelumnya kayaknya bukan soal ini deh. But the facility gets even worse, and they start selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and affixing them to... Buset, psycho banget bukunya. Oh, that might be a little bit of a spoiler. But anyway, I'm really into it. The book, I mean. Not the thing about the limbs. That's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came from nowhere. Ah, are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Juicy Stuff? No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that this kind of story, it's the kind that challenges you to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen... Okay, I'm done. Save dulu deh. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because the world is full of horrible people and we're all worthless anyway, then what the hell? I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, my whole body... What the fuck? I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. It just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all. Ah, well, that's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? Anjir! Yes. I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to, but aduh, Tash, takut nih. Hello? You don't have to, but what are you saying? Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I had put into my bag. Alright, it's fine. It's fine if I sit here, right? I sit into the seat next to Yuri's. Ah, yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. Aduh, kok makin intens ya? Nggak tahu. Soalnya nggak tahu apa yang bakal jumpscare itu bakal apa anjir. Reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright. I open the book and start the prologue. I still understand that what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Aduh. Sorry. I was just bathing in the feeling of what the fuck. You really apologize a lot, don't you? I do. I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean, here, this should work, right? I sat at my desk, then hold my book over between the two of them. Ah, I suppose so. Yuri timidly closed her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. Ome-sama. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book. Okay, I I do the same thing with my right arm, so the right side of the book, on the right side of the book. Aduh, sorry. Ini distracting banget soalnya disturbing anjir jump scare-nya. That way I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? Eh? To turn the page. Ah, sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. Ah, that's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me. Yeah, thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. Eh? No, I don't relate to this character at all. Definitely not. Really? I was just thinking the way she second guesses things she says and all that. Ah, that's what you were talking about. Sorry. I thought you meant something else about her. Something else? Never mind. We didn't even get that far yet, so I don't know why that came into my head. Kok dia kayak mukanya muka psycho ya? Beda nih animation ini. Are you feeling alright? Eh? Yours been a little fidgety ever since we started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Okay, ini dialog ka baru nih. Your breathing is a little... My breathing? Yuri puts her hands on her chest, as if to feel her heartbeat. I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. You just need some water. Alright, don't push yourself. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the classroom. What on earth was that about? Oh shit! Juicy Stav. Did something happen just now? Eh? I have no idea. Yuri was acting a little strange, I guess. So you don't know anything? Sorry, I can't say I do. Are you worried about me? About her? Oh no, not really. I was just making sure that you didn't do anything to her. No, nothing. Hahaha, don't worry, I believe you, silly. Yuri just does this sometimes, so it's nothing alarming. Alright, if you say so. Anyway, why don't we start with sharing our poems with each other? Eh? Should we wait for Yuri? Well, she might be a while. Is that okay? Yeah, I was just asking. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book. Then I slip it back into my bag. Aduh, si ininya nggak ada lagi, Yuri-nya. I should start with Monica. Yesterday she seemed eager to read my poem, and I want her to know I'm putting in effort. Hi, Juicy Stav. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Howdy, depression in chat. What? Depression, man. Anyway, want to share a poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Is this a good time for depression? I don't know, man. I don't think it is. Don't worry, GC Stav, we're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem. Mm-hmm. Great job, GC Stav. I was going, ooh, in my head while reading it. Where's Sayori? Uh, yeah, she ended herself, man. She hanged herself. I was going ooh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way, it always counts when I put in some effort. That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism? Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is just totally detached from reality. I don't mean that like it's a bad thing though. Man, I arrived too late. What do you mean? But sometimes I get the impression that she's just totally given up on people. She spends so much time in her own head that it's probably a much more interesting place for her. But that's why she gets so happy when you treat her with a lot of kindness. I don't think she's used to being indulged like that. She must be really starved for social interaction, so don't blame her for coming on a little strongly, like earlier. I think if she gets too stimulated, she ends up withdrawing and looking for alone time. Suddenly the door opens. Adu. Yuri! I'm back. Did I miss anything? Not really. Well, we all started sharing our poems with each other. Eh? Already? I'm sorry for being late. No need to apologize. We still have plenty of time, so I'm more glad that you took all the time you needed. Alright, thanks Monica. I suppose I should go get my poem now. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? I see. Well, let's read it then. Beda nih poemnya nih. Hole in wall, but he wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glanced at my surroundings, but my burnt eyes can no longer see color. Are there others in this room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? The sound of frantic scrawling playing tricks on my ears. The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there. What do you mean? Like, the protagonist, us? Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen. So what do you think? It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gone pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. Epiphany? It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometime when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. Just another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Oke, Yuri udah ada. Tapi Natsuki dulu apa Yuri ya? Natsuki apa Yuri? Natsuki apa Yuri? Natsuki or Yuri? Natsuki or Yuri? Yuri Yuri de. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional. Eh? What was that? Did I say that out loud? Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering the whole face. I... Uh... He's going to hate me. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. Eh? That's... I guess you're right. Why am I getting so nervous for? Ahaha. Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really. Huh? Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again. Well, I know that. I just meant, Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem, as if breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah, okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little bit biased though. Biased? How? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri's apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? But please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily, as if that's a rare opportunity for her. Which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow. Bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe. Calms breathing air of the present but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. I'm sorry, I have such terrible handwriting. What? I wasn't thinking that at all. But it took you a long time to read. Ah, well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty. Eh? That's a relief. I also like the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive. It wasn't too short? I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest, since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghosts, Yuri? Hoo, actually the story isn't about a ghost at all, Juicy Stav. Really? I must have totally missed the point. Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost, lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot more solemn, putting it that way. I hadn't I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive. Eh? It's nothing really. Yours was impressive too, so nah. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you. You think so? Yeah, of course. Ah, you know, I was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Juicy Stav. Ah, me too. Natsuki, the last one. Aduh. Juicy Stav, if you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home. What? Harsh? What, you expect me to believe that you actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid? I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put in effort. We all start somewhere, right? If you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Painful to think about? Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyway. I'd tell you what to improve, but you're better off just trying again. Fair enough? Well, to each their own, I guess. Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. Knowing you, you'll probably think it's stupid. Oh, it's the same poem, okay. Yeah. I told you that you weren't gonna like it. I like it. What? Just be honest. I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't really take my writing seriously. But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid. Yes, exactly. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem, seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line. So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized. That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? Yeah, guess not. I decided to humor her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki is feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Phew! I guess that's everyone. I glanced around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Aduh, lagunya udah mulai aneh-aneh nih. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club, after all. I sigh. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Monica is writing something in her notebook. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's with this language? Eh? Did you say something? Oh, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy. Ah, thanks. Yours is cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. Eh? You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it really didn't come out nice at all. Well, I do have a couple suggestions. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Monica liked it. and Juicy's staff did too. So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me, I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless of course I come across something particularly inspiring, which I haven't yet. I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. Eh? That's not what I... Uh... You're just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that Juicy Staff appreciates my advice more than he appreciated yours. Bro, these girls are hot. Come on, Sans. That's not the point, man. Huh? And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself? Oh, man. Ini kenapa pada ributnya gila dah. No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Juicy Staff started showing up. But Natsuki! Natsuki, that's a little... This doesn't involve you. Oh, hell yeah, boobs! Sans. Taking out your own... Oh shit, what the fuck? What the fuck, man? You really act as young as you look, Natsuki. Me? Look who's talking. You wanna be edgy, bitch? Edgy? Sorry that my lifestyle is too much for someone of your mental age to comprehend. See? Just saying that proves my point. Most people learn to get themselves graduate middle school, you know. What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on, man? Nikalapa. Oh, my bad. You already do, don't you? Did you just accuse me of cutting myself? What the fuck is wrong with you or your head? Yeah, go on. Let Juicy Staff hear everything you really think. I'm sure he'll be head over heels for you after this. Ah! Suddenly Yuri turns toward me as if she just noticed I was standing there. Juicy Staff, she's just trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. How did I get... What the fuck? Yuri! What the fuck? Okay, Monica. Okay, Monica. Nggak bisa pause lagi. Hey, Juicy Staff. Why don't we step outside for a little bit, okay? Sorry about that. Nggak ada lagu lagi. They really shouldn't have tried to get you involved. It's probably better for us to stay out of this. We'll go back inside once they're done yelling. Ahaha. Some president I am, right? I can't even confront my own club members properly. I just wish I was able to be a little more assertive sometimes. But I never have it in me to put my foot down against others. You understand, right? Anyway, if this makes you want to spend less time with the others, then that's fine. I'd be happy to spend time with you instead. Suddenly, Natsuki runs out of the classroom. She quickly runs away. Oh dear. Well, it looks like they're done. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. Yuri is rocking back and forth in her desk with her palms on her forehead. Yuri? I didn't mean it. I believe you. I have no idea what Yuri might have said to Natsuki. Or did. Juicy Staff, please don't hate me. Please? I'm not like this. There's something wrong with me today. It's fine, Yuri. We know you didn't mean it. Besides, I'm sure Natsuki will forget all about it by tomorrow. Completely. Anyway, the meeting is over, so you can go home now if you want. Yuri looks at me like she wants to say something, but she keeps glancing at Monica. You can go first, Monica. I'd like to stay a little bit longer. Please, not with Yuri, man. Sekarang Yuri jadi serem banget, anjir. I'm the president, so I should be the last one out. I'll wait for you to be done. Well, I'm vice president, so please let me take that responsibility today. It kind of sounds like you don't want me around for something, Yuri. It's not that. It's not that. It just... I didn't get much of a chance to discuss my book with Juicy Stav. It would be just be embarrassing with you listening. Ah, I guess I don't really have a choice, do I? I'm sorry for causing... What the fuck, man? Oh my god, bro. Kenapa ada tulisan... Oh shit! What the fuck? Udah lah ya, udah lah ya. Udah. Udah. Ah, gila. Ini game gila, sumpah. Kacau, sumpah nih game. Oh, udah. Udah. I'll see you on the next episode. Ah.